What is up, crew? Welcome to Seek the Edge podcast with me, Kelsey Lensman, where our goal through Seek the Edge podcast, through Expand Your Limits, and myself, my personal mission is to challenge you outside of your comfort zone so you can realize and tap into the God-given potential inside. And for those that are new, we have a big event coming up, our biggest one yet, here in the fall, October 2025, called Women Xpanding Limits. And it's all about redefining what's possible for women in all areas of life. We have professional athletes coming. We have women that are trailblazing in their careers. We have experts in health and fitness. And at the core of this event, we are having a big community workout in the morning. Those that have signed up, we have a HYROX physical fitness test, a PFT, that includes some running, some burpees, not my favorite, some rows, but are a great way to test your fitness. And also if you're preparing or want to do a HYROX in the future. And we also have our all women's lifting event. We have our experience level division, a showcase, which is based on weight classes of you seeing where you're at on that next level. And what I'm really excited about is we are just announcing an adaptive division, our first ever time doing this, where we have individuals that are hearing impaired or vision impaired or also lower body impairment. And it's always been on my heart to have women of all different capabilities. I personally, even though I grew up being an athlete, I never felt like I was the top tier in everything, meaning the fitness I had to work at a lot, whether that be for bodybuilding or powerlifting. Granted, God gave me some capabilities, but I never just felt like I was there. And so I was that girl that felt like, ooh, she can do it, but not me. I was that girl that felt like, well, she's able to do the runs or do the lifts, but man, I don't know if I'm capable of. And so it's always been on my heart to expand and to reach those that never imagined themselves doing something like this. We do have the top tier athletes that come to our events and compete in them, but we also have the moms, the daughters, all different ages, all different backgrounds, to challenge themselves outside of their comfort zone so they can see their strength within and they can show themselves what they're capable of. And so today's we're going to talk about how to prepare for your specific division. And my entire background is more sports medicine. I come from a pretty training intensive background, meaning I was the one helping athletes with injury rehabilitation or recovery. I was the one learning about all the different training modalities and the ways to go about it. And I don't talk too much about training now, but it's something that I love to nerd out on and I love to dig deep with because the details matter when it comes with this stuff. And so I'm going to bring a different side of myself to you all today, and we're going to talk training. We're going to talk what is going to be most effective for you to get ready for this event. And a big reason why I want to make a podcast out of this and give value is because each division requires a unique approach. Okay, to give a quick overview, like I said, we do have that community workout, which I'll share with that. Then we do have that HYROX PFT. That HYROX PFT and the way that you train is and should look differently than the push-pull, the lifting event that we also have. And so each division requires a little bit different of an approach, along with our hybrid division of you're doing a HYROX PFT in the morning and then followed by a really heavy lifting competition. And so we want to talk through how do we maximize these next few weeks training up to it, and how do we get the most out of ourselves on that day. And there is pitfalls if you're not as familiar with training. There is tendencies that people like to do of like, oh, I should just max out every week up until this event. And I'm like, no. There's some strategy behind this that I hope to give value of you here. Okay. So first, let's talk about honestly one of the most simple ones. Simple does not mean easy, but that is the community workout. Okay. In this workout, it is led by me, so I have full control over what we are doing in this workout. And it is going to be about 45 minutes, give or take, and it will be scalable. So for those that are training consistently, are pushing themselves, you do have the capability to do this. But for also those that are like, girls, I don't train that much, girl. I haven't really lifted any weights before. You also have the capability to do this. We have some scalable options within it, and it is going to be solely body weight focused. We are not doing heavy lifting. We are not putting some heavy weights on you. It's going to be an amazing big community workout. And so what I want you to think about between now and then is just getting in some body weight movements. If you have signed up for our event, we are actually emailing out an athlete packet that has a sample workout for you, but this includes body weight squats. This includes sit-ups. This includes some body weight lunges. And depending on your range of motion, you can go full range of motion or partial if you need to. And so with this community workout, if you can move your body, if you can walk, you can participate in this. And I am very particular about our scaling options, and there will be options for you. Okay, if you want to push, we got that for you too. But if you need to scale, we also have that. Okay. Secondly, what I want to talk through is our strength meet, our lifting meet, our push-pull. In this lifting meet, it is a bench and deadlift event. So you will have 3 attempts at your bench and 3 attempts at deadlift to get a max weight for bench and a max weight for deadlift. What we will do then is we will combine your max weight for deadlift and max weight for bench to be a total. That total is what's going to be compared against in that division that you are. So the goal for this specific event is you lift some heavy weight and you follow the commands and cues and the lift requirements of that lift. Okay. Some training priorities that you need to be focused on in these next couple of weeks is you focus on technique. I cannot say this enough. Okay. On our event regulation page, we have every detail of for bench, some part of your foot needs to be on the ground. Your butt needs to stay on the ground. Full extension with your elbows. We have all of those details listed out, so it's very clear. Same for deadlift. And I would rather you rock your technique, crush it, blow it out of the water, training up for this event, than just putting heavy load on to do heavy load and you not having proper technique with it. Not only do I want you to do well at this event, I want you to also be safe. Safety is one of my biggest priorities with every single event that we do, and it's incredibly important to me that you walk out feeling good about the day, but also injury-free. Okay, so technique. If you need any demos of bench and deadlift, message us on Expand Your Limits, and we will send you so many explanation videos of probably me explaining how to do bench and deadlift to give value. So we want to prioritize technique. Elbows at a 45-degree on bench. Okay, we want to prioritize technique. Wrist or knuckles pointed high to the sky on bench. No cockeyed, cocked back wrists. Okay, deadlift, no big rounding of our back. We want to keep a really strong, stable core with good hinge technique with it. All right, that's number one. Secondly is progressive overload. What I see women oftentimes do wrong, and it's usually just a lack of knowledge, is they think, well, let me just lift heavy every single week leading up to this event, and let me just try to send it for the event. When really I just built a 5-week push-pull lifting program out for any of our event athletes that want some structure. There's very particular percentages that we want to peak up to. So for example, we have 50% of what your 1 rep max should be. Next week, it might be 65%, 70%, 75%. And so for you to get out of your most at this event, there is a peaking protocol to get you to actually peak at that day. Okay, if you are just lifting heavy, trying to do 1 rep maxes or 2 rep maxes or 3 rep maxes from now up until the event, not only are you probably not going to get the most that you could at the event, it's actually holding you back versus helping you. Okay, it's going to drain your nervous system. It's going to not allow for proper recovery. And so allow yourself to either follow a program. You don't need to follow ours. It's available if you need it, but follow a program that can peak you for that event. Progressive overload is more weight over time or better reps with that weight. And so we want to progressively overload to peak for that event. And third thing here is also recovery. Okay. Like I said, you do not, I say this loud and clear, you do not want to max out every single week up until the event. Okay. We need to prioritize recovery. We need to prioritize our small activation exercises, whether that be banded pull-aparts for bench, RDLs for deadlift, glute bridges, hip thrusts for deadlift, core activation. We want to make sure our recovery is on point and our small activation exercises are on point so we can, or accessory exercises, so we can also make sure that the lift not only is strong, but it feels good at the same time and it's done properly. A few common mistakes here, I've said it multiple times, but overmaxing out. You just lift heavy and you rip it up until the event, or also skipping accessory work. Okay, I cannot tell you enough in my own body how much it has been impactful for me to continually prioritize that accessory work, prioritize those small muscle groups. And so a practical meat tip for this specific one is mock a meat day. This doesn't mean you lift max out, but I want you to try to build up to what your maybe 90-95% is for that meet. I want you to focus on that technique. I want you to prioritize what those cues are or what the specific commands are. Because the more that we can practice like it's game day, the more that you're going to show up on game day feeling confident. If you have any questions about the strength meet, please shoot us a message at Expand Your Limits. If you need demo videos for bench, if you need demo videos for deadlift, any of them, we are more than happy to give them. We are willing to give them to you because we want you to succeed on that day. Along with that, if you go to expandyourlimit.com/event regulations, I just checked it. It has all of our details, whether that be lifting, whether that be HYROX for that specific event day. Okay, every detail, our commands, our cues, what we're looking for, demo videos, you name it, it is on there. expandyourlimit.com/event regulations. That is the strength meet. Let's move on to HYROX, baby. So the HYROX PFT, it is a running followed by burpees, lunges, push-ups, hand release push-ups, rows, and wall balls. For this one, it is decently high intensity throughout the entire duration of the event. And so you're going as fast as you can from one thing to the next until you're done. Okay, so it is all about heart rate regulation during the HYROX PFT. I did a solo HYROX a couple months ago. It was purely off of heart rate regulation, meaning when my heart rate jacked up, I needed to figure out how to keep it stable and keep it down because your body's just going to want to go. Okay, some training priorities in this one is engine building. When we're talking engine building, we're talking about your cardiovascular capacity. Okay, this is where a lot of zone 2 work comes in, or some running or some biking. We want to regulate your heart rate, and the more that we're able to build that engine up or work capacity over time, the better that you're going to feel going from one event to the next to finishing. This can also be helpful with some interval conditioning. Okay, I just did one this morning. This can be more EMOMs. This can be more AMRAPs. I did an interval of some rows and some sled pushes back to back. And so we're building in some intervals. If you've ever heard of an EMOM, is every minute on the minute. So a lot of our crew, we've done a 45 minute EMOM where it's a 30-second sprint, 12 box jumps, a sled push, some push-ups, or some carries. Okay, in this 40-minute EMOM, you do, let's say, for example, a 30-second sprint followed by a 30-second rest. That next minute, you do 12 box jumps followed by however much rest you have after those 12 box jumps. And so we want to build in high threshold work with also some decent rest built in to bring your heart rate back down. This is different than just a steady state or a high duration over a long period of time. We're trying to build up high-end work with also a decent amount of rest to bring that heart rate back down. And then last but not least is just strength endurance. We're not necessarily pushing any really heavy weight during this HYROX PFT. The sled pulls, the sled pushes are taken out of it. However, there's 30 hand release push-ups. There's lunges. There's burpees. Okay. There's rows. There's wall balls. And so the more strength that I have, but being able to do 30 reps, the better that's going to equate to a better PFT. So I don't care how heavy you lift in the HYROX PFT. I care how much you're able to endure over a period of time in this one. And so focus on some moderately higher reps, 30, 20s, 30s, 40s to be able to. Okay. You want to also balance this training prep with some functional movements and running. Okay. So this one, it's only a 1K run. You're not doing a 1K after every station, which is great. So because of this though, we also want to make sure that our functional movements are on point. So I would practice your lunges. I would practice your burpee broad jumps. I would practice your rows, your hand release push-ups, because the more that your body's used to doing those movements, the better those movements are going to go. So as we push with the HYROX PFT, do not overdo it. You need recovery, okay? That is something that I'm currently balancing my training because I'm competing in a HYROX in about 10 weeks now, is you need to balance it with recovery. This does not mean, hear me loud and clear, do a 40-minute EMOM or AMRAP every single day. You are going to hurt yourself versus help yourself. And so this means mix in 2 to 3 days of this higher functional type of work, some longer duration type of work. And one thing that I built in, I also made a 5-week prep program for a HYROX PFT for those that want to go off of a training program and some structure. I build in every Saturday, or you can move it to a Friday if you want to. It is a simulation workout. And so it's not the full HYROX PFT every single time, but you're working in a very simulated workout, simulated type of structure that the HYROX PFT is going to come in. And so because of this, when I throw you into a PFT on that October 25th, you're not like, oh, what do I do? You've been doing it. This is your normal. You're good. We want some simulation in here. Okay. Few of the others, second to last, is the hybrid athlete. Oh, this one gets me excited because it's a mix of, you have to have that cardiovascular endurance and functional strength, but you also can't compromise that to just lift heavy. You also need to have strength and a lot of power output and lift heavy weight. But you can't have only heavy weight. You need to have cardiovascular balance. So it's this amazing, you need both. It's not an either or thing. So it's that blend of strength and also conditioning. Some priorities for this one is just energy systems balance. So for example, is we need to balance that high output work, keeping that heart rate regulated, keeping that heart rate in the area that we want it. But we also need to push some strength here. We need to peak as we would a lifting event because it is one, but also we need to train for a cardiovascular event because it is one. And so we need to balance that out. You do not need to do 2-a-days. You can if you want, but you do not need to. But I would practice 1 or 2 times before that actual event day to do a high threshold workout followed by some heavy weight. Okay, we have to see how your body responds because you're doing the HYROX PFT first, followed by a lifting event second. And a mindset key with this specific event is you want to be decent at everything, but capable of anything. Meaning I'm not trying to excel in only the HYROX PFT that I neglect the strength. I'm not trying to only excel at the strength that I neglect the cardiovascular output that's required. I need to have this, like the Goldilocks theory, like kind of the best of everything, and be okay with, I don't like to say average because I just don't like that word, but be okay with being average because we want a mix of both. We want and, not or. Okay. Prep tip with this is stack lifts with conditioning circuits. So I once again built a 5-week hybrid prep program for this. If you want to purchase it, you don't need to, but if you want to, it will help you because I have balanced out the peaking for the lifting along with the HYROX conditioning that is required for HYROX. So it's this beautiful combination of recovery with strength with some higher threshold work that is needed. Okay. And last but not least, as we announce this, is the adaptive division, is you will hop on a one-on-one call with Cassidy. She is the founder and owner of the resilience movement that does adaptive training. And so just communicate with her your specific needs. We're going to have it specific for each person and go over the lift standards on the website. I have all of the details of what is going to be required, how we're going to do each adaptive division, but we can also modify as needed. So just communicate with us what is going to be helpful for you, okay? Some training priorities is just safe movement patterns. I want you confident as you step up to that platform. And so if you've never lifted like this before, make sure you get some practice in you beforehand. If this is a newer type of thing, make sure that we prep up accordingly. And if you have any questions, reach out to us, because we can tell you exactly what our game plan is and have you feel confident that you're going in knowing what to expect. Okay? Build that competition readiness. A few other pieces here is just nutrition. Fuel your body appropriately. A fueled body is a body that performs. A lack of fueled body is a body that is depleted. Okay? Nutrition is key. No matter if you're HYROX or PFT or hybrid or adaptive, prioritize that protein. Carbs are not your enemy, they're your friend. You need to be fueled appropriately. And so allow yourself, as you go throughout these next X amount of weeks, allow yourself to have a fueled body. If you have questions on how much you need to fuel it or what should you fuel it, message us. We are here for you for a reason. Post in the group. We coach women on nutrition and fitness. We have so many resources here that we want to give you, that we are not only just willing, but we want to give you, to make sure that you show up on that day not just confident, but that you feel good about yourself here. Okay? And regardless of that division, is you will need to mentally prepare. Those that are the most mentally resilient are going to be the ones that will succeed that day. And so push past comparison and stay in your lane. Okay? Don't look at our Instagram stories comparing yourself to Susie that I'm reposting. Don't look at previous athletes that we've had. I need you to stay in your lane. I need you to stay focused on you beating you that day. It ain't about them. It's about you. And there's been so many women that have had incredible breakthroughs. No matter if the weight is 45 pounds or 450 pounds. This is about you breaking through you that day. It's about you showing yourself what you're capable of that day. And so I'm incredibly excited. And remember, as you prep up, it ain't going to be perfect. Okay, there's going to be workouts that are deviated. There's going to be days that you wish that went better. There's going to be days that you feel really weak. There's going to be days that you feel like your heart rate is about to jump out of your chest and you have no idea because you just started the first 10 minutes, okay? Those days happen. The goal is not to be perfect. The goal is to make progress. And so a quick recap, community workout, you can do it. Practice body weight. Lifting event, make sure you have a specific peaking protocol. Do not try to max out every single week. Focus on technique. For the HYROX PFT, focus on some higher threshold work. Make sure you're doing the movements consistently, okay? For a hybrid, focus on, yes, higher threshold work along with some strength. And for our adaptive, I am so incredibly excited. Focus on the technique of it, okay? No matter what your division is, the goal is for you to step out of your comfort zone and redefine what's possible for you, okay? Join our Facebook group, post any lifting that you want us to review. If you have questions, if you need clarity, we are here for you for a reason. We are so excited to have you for this event. Like I said, we have incredible resources that we want to give you. So all you have to do is ask, and we got you at the end of the day. Okay? Love you guys. I cannot wait to see you on October 25th. And Women Xpanding Limits, it is just continually getting better. If you have not signed up yet, our tickets will not just sell out, but we are capping them, okay? expandyourlimit.com/women expanding without the E, limits, and you will be able to go to there. Also go to our social Expand Your Limits on Instagram or Facebook. You will see everything that you need, and I'm so incredibly excited for what's to come. Love y'all. See you soon.